All right, welcome. This is the second part of the Unit 2 uh, review sheet solutions. Okay, here I'm covering the rest, so 10 through 18. Okay, this is for IM2. Here you're going to simplify this expression. Okay, so what this means is that I want you to notice that so if you see this, that means it's x to the 1/2 power. Okay, if you see a 3 here, that means it's x, right? If it's the cube root, that means it's x to the 1/3 power. This is just another way of writing this. If you see this without a number, it's the same thing as saying x to the 1/2 power. Okay, so this is no number, it's defaulted. Okay, so that's what you basically have to do. Okay, so here, what this simplifies to, okay, is this is the cube root. Sorry, this is the cube root of 27 times x. Okay, so the cube root of 27 is 3. Why? Because 3, the cube root of 27 is equal to 3, because 3 times 3 times 3 is equal to 27. That's why. Okay, then times, you don't know what this is, so this becomes x to the 1/3 power. Okay, times, what is the cube root of 4? Okay, we know that the cube root of 4, it's just 2, because 2 times 2 equals to 4. So this gets you 2. What about the x? So this is just 1/2. Simplify this. You get 3x1 cubed times 2x1/2. You can multiply these, okay? So it's 3 times 2 times x to the 1/3 times x to the 1/2. So 3 times 2 is 6. X. What is this? You actually remember when we. So remember, okay? Remember this. Note this, okay? X to the n times x to the m is xn plus m. That's the theorem. So x squared times x cubed is just 2 plus 3. The exponents add when you multiply. So this comes x to the 5. So what is 1/3? So right here, this is 1/3 plus 1/2. Okay, you add the exponents. This is very ugly. So 1/3 plus 1/2. Here you would have to multiply greatest common factor, so it becomes, you multiply this by 2, you multiply this by 3, you get 2/3 plus 3 over 2 gets you, sorry, that's bad. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6. So this gets you 5, 6. So this becomes 5, 6. Okay? That's how this one looks like. Okay? Alright, because again, this is the number in front, this is the variable, this is the exponent. You gotta leave it like this. Okay? Alright, continuing the same idea. Remember, keep this in mind to do this. Okay? So you want to do the cube root of 64 times x, right, times the square root of 64 and x. So the cube root of 64, I believe it's 4. Okay, because 4 times 4 times 4, yep, because 4 times because 4 times 4 times 4 gets you 64. Okay. Then do you know what the cube root of x is? You don't. So you just write that as x to the 1/3 power. Okay. Times, what is the square root of 64? Okay, that equals to 8. Why? 8 times 8 gets you 64. So this gets you 8, and the square root of x is just x to the 1/2 power. Okay, rearrange this. 4 times 8 times x to the 1/3 times x to the 1/2. So 4 times 8 is get you 32 times x. Now we have to add the exponent. So again, you have to add the exponent, because when you multiply this, it gets you, so x to the 1/3 power times x to the 1/2 power gets you x to the 1/3 plus 1/2. Again, what is 1/3 plus 1/2? Okay. Let me show you this. This is how you actually can make it very easy. If you throw it into decimals, watch this. 1/3, right, plus 1/2. Okay. And you hit this, you convert it into a decimal. Okay, 5/6. All right, do you see 5/6? If you want to do it the longhand, okay, I did the workout right here. Okay, that it gives you the same explanation. So this gets you 5/6. Okay. All right, let's see this part. The cube root of, oh my god, that's so ugly. The cube root of, oh my god, the cube root the cube root of 125 times x to the 4th power so sorry, the cube root of 125 times x to the 4th power. Why are they connecting this to the 4th power? Times square root of 9x squared. Okay, so what is the cube root of 125? So the cube root of 125 is just 5, because 5 times 5 times 5 gets you 5 times 5 times 5 gets you 125. So this gets you 5. Okay, times, what is this? So the cube root, again, the cube root of x is just x to the 1/3 power. So there's a 4 here, the 4 goes on top. So this becomes x 4 third times, what is the square root? So we know the square root of 9 is equal to 3, because 3 times 3 is equal to 9. So this becomes 3. The square root of x squared is just x, because x times x gets you x squared. Okay, here this is really a 1/1, just letting you know. Okay, it's really the number 1, the exponent is 1, but you want it in a fraction. Okay, so rearrange 5 times 3 times x to the 1/3 power, 1/4 power, times x to the 1/1 power. This becomes 15 times x. Let's do that on the side. X 4 x 4 thirds times x to the 1/1 is equal to x 4 thirds plus 1/1. So 4/1 plus 1/1. So this, you can convert this by multiplying this by 3. Okay, gets you 4 thirds times 3 4/3 times 3 over 3. Okay, you can add these. This is 7 over 3. So this gets you x 7 over 3. I did this on the side so you can see why this is just 7 over 3. That's a horrible fraction. Oh, 7 over 3. Okay, there you go. Okay, let's do this. The cube root of 27 times x times the square root of 81 times x. So we know that the cube root of the cube root of cube root the cube root of 27 is equal to 3, because 3 times 3 times 3 is equal to 27. Okay, so this gets you 3 times 3, the cube root of x, okay, is equal to x 1/3. So x 1/3 times the square root of 81 is equal to 9, because 9 times 9 is equal to 81, times the square root of x is just x to the 1/2 power. These are just things that you have to memorize, okay? There's no way to get it conceptually if you don't memorize it. 3 times 9, just rearrange it. X 1/3 times x to the 1/2 power. 3 times 9 is 27. Okay, let me delete all this work. You might not need it anymore. I'm just going to delete all this. Okay. Okay, so x 1/3 times x to the 1/2 is x 1/3 plus 1/2. But we need to know what it is. So 1/3 plus 1/2. Multiply this by 2. And you multiply this by 3. Why? 2 times 1 gets you 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 1 gets you 3. 3 times 2 here gets you 6. Like terms on the common denominator. 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3 is 5. 6 plus 6 is 6. The denominator remains the same. So 1/3 plus 1/2 gets you 5 over 6. So this becomes times x 5 over 6. That's your answer. There's a lot of ways you could screw up. Make sure you understand the different properties. Are the expression below equivalent to x to the 1/2 power? Okay. So first of all, we have to understand we would like to convert this. So x to the 1/2 power can be over 1, which can be converted to by we just flip it. So it becomes 1 over x to the 1/2 power. This is correct. Okay. Then we know that x to the 1/2 power is another way of just writing the square root of x. So this is also equal to square root of x. Perfect. Good. Okay. Now, also, I don't know you noticed, but do you see this? Okay. What you can do is that from here, you could bring it back up. Okay. But it's a positive exponent. So if you want to bring it up, it becomes a negative exponent. So this is also equivalent. So this, and this are all equivalent. This makes no sense. You don't get a negative on the outside. Here, makes no sense. The exponent does not change. Here, again, the exponent does not change. It stays as 1/2. Thus, right? The exponent still has to remain the same. Okay? Here, the square root is just another way of writing a 1/2 exponent. So A, B, and C are all correct. Okay? These are all the different ways of writing this. Again, that's mean there's no way to sort of like conceptually derive it. It's just things you have to memorize. All right. So here you have 4x to the 1/3 power, negative 1/3 power divide by 1. We kind of convert it, so we bring it down. So it becomes 4x to the 1/3. So this stays in the parentheses. So this is wrong. The reason why it's wrong is because there should be a parentheses here. There's not. So, right, because you see how the 1/3 stays here. So this is wrong. This says that the 1/3 is the exponent on the x. It's supposed to be on the 4x, so this one's wrong. Okay. Another way of writing, remember, x to the 1/3 power is the same thing as writing this. Okay. So this is also correct because this is the same way as writing this. Okay, so this is correct. Okay. Okay. So now you can bring this back up. Okay. So from here you have this, right? The exponent here is +1. You can bring it back to the top by changing the exponent. So now it becomes 3 square, this cube root of 4x squared. You want to bring this up so the exponent becomes a -1. So this is also a valid answer. Okay. This is considered, this is wrong because you just got a negative out of nowhere. This one's considered wrong because the exponent changes. This one is wrong because the exponent changes. The exponent still should be 1/3. Okay, all these, the exponents are still 1/3 because again, this and writing this are the same. Okay, all right, okay. Alright, Mario's adding a new counter space to his kitchen. The diagram shows the existing countertop provides 20 square feet of space. His addition would be an island in the middle of the with the dimensions of 5x plus 3 by 5x in feet. Mario would like a total of 45 feet of counter space. Write an equation he can use to solve for x. Explain which equation is appropriate. There's multiple ways of doing this, but I want you to think about this. His total here is 45. So in the end, it's going to be equal to 45. Okay. So you have so far 12.5. Okay. Then you're going to add 7.5. Then you're going to add this area. Okay. Then you're going to add the area there. This area. But how do you find the area here? The area of any rectangle is length times width. The length here is x plus 3 and the width here is 5x. So you can say it is 12.5 plus 75x plus the area, which is x plus 3 parentheses 5x equal to 45. Okay, so this is the first part. This is the second part of the counter space. And this is the new area. Okay, all three of them. So this is what you mean by you add. So this is together. The equal sign means it equals the total of 45. That's what this means. Another way of writing this is that you can also could move this all over to the other side. So you could also write 12.5 plus 7. 12.5 plus 7.5 plus x plus 3, 5, right? And you can subtract this all the way from 45. You can also write that. You can write 45 minus this, okay? So all you're doing is you're just changing the sign, okay? So both answers are okay, this answer or this answer. I recommend that you understand it from this point of view. So this plus, so this part, the 12 square feet, is right here. Okay, so this is right here. Okay, the blue is the 7.5 is right here. The green is this, comes from this area. And again, that is length times width. And this is the total. That's why this is the total here. So writing this would be a valid answer. 12.5 plus 7.5 plus parentheses x plus 3 parentheses 5x. That would be a valid answer. If you want to get fancy, you could distribute. But again, you don't have to if you don't want to. So if you want to distribute, that gets you 5x squared plus 15x is equal to 45. Okay, you can add some like terms here. This is how it looks like in standard form. 45. It equals to 45. Okay, you can do more algebra here if you want. Okay, but this is an acceptable answer. This is acceptable answer. This is acceptable answer. This is an acceptable answer. Okay. Which is not equivalent to this. Please understand that this is in standard form. Okay, so you want to put this all in standard form. So here, not equivalent. This is negative 36 and negative 36 plus 3x squared plus 3x squared plus 3x plus 3x. This and this are the same. Okay, this is just in a different order. Okay, good. So this one's bad. So this one's bad. What about this? So let's just do it on the side. Okay, so what's x plus 4? Okay, so let's do this inside first. So x times x becomes x squared. X, then we do x plus x times 4 is 4x. Then we do the bottom, negative 3x times 3x. Negative 3 times x becomes negative 3x. Negative 3 times 4 becomes negative 12. This comes x squared minus x minus 12. Okay, hold on. Did I do this right? Sorry, this is plus x. And there's still a 3 in front. Notice that this and this are the same. So even if you distribute, it gets you 3x squared. Distribute again, plus 3x. Distribute this again, gets you minus 36. So this and this are all the same. Here's the interesting part. There's a way for you to know this answer without even doing the problem. This is not equivalent, right? Which is not the same. Do you see how many x's do you have here? 1x, 2x, 3x. Notice when you multiply this, so you have x to the 3. 1x, 2x, 3x. So the final answer has to be something x cubed plus x squared plus x plus other stuff. But notice it is an x cubed term. There's no way for this to be x cubed. There are 3 different factors here. So this is not equivalent. Okay, you can either do that or put everything into standard form and compare it. Okay, that's always the easiest way to look at, because that's what I'm going to do here. To look at which one this is, just put it in standard form. A lot of you are like, oh, that's too much work. Well, I mean, that's if you want the answer. Okay, you have to compare. You want to compare them in standard form. There's no way about it. Okay, so stop complaining and just do the problem. X minus 2 parentheses x plus 4. Distribute x times x gets you x squared. X times 4 gets you 4x. Negative 2 times x gets you negative 2x. Negative 2 times 4 gets you negative 8. Okay, this becomes x squared plus 2x minus 8. Okay, so you're looking for this one. Okay, so you're looking for this one. So this is the standard form of that. Okay. Let's just bring this to the top. Alright, so let's do the first one. I'm going to color code it. So A. Alright, so A is x plus 1 squared plus 9. Write this in expanded form. So x plus 1, bring down the 9. Distribute, we get x squared. Distribute, plus x. Distribute, plus x. 1 times 1 is 1 plus 9. You get x squared. X plus x gets you 2x plus 10. Does that work? Nope. Let's try the next one. Let's do blue. So blue is x plus 1 squared minus 9. Standard form. Okay, let's do this. Expand it out. So x plus 1 times x plus 1, bring down the negative 9. Distribute, get you x squared. Distribute, get you plus x. Distribute, get you x. 1 times 1 gets you 1. Bring down the negative 9. X squared, x plus 1, x plus x gets you 2x. Plus 1 minus 9 gets you negative 8. Is that right? Did I just get the answer? It's B. X squared. Yeah, right? Look. This and this are the same. Okay? So there you go. The answer is actually B. Okay? Hold on. Let me double my work because it... Let me check my work. Negative 9. So it's 2x. So is this... Hold on. Let me just double check. It seems too easy. Hold on. Let me just double check. I'm not sure if this is correct. Let me double check this. Okay. Let me just redo this. X squared plus 4x minus 2x minus 8. X squared plus 2x minus 8. Yeah, that's right. This doesn't work because this is 2x. That's 10. Yeah, so it is B. Yeah. I just had to double check. It seems too easy. So that's it. It was the second one. It was B. Okay. All right. There you go. It was B. All right. So let's look at 16 now. Okay. Here, just true or false. Okay. All right. Does this have two terms? One term, two terms. That is true. The coefficient sum is 15. The coefficient here is 6. The other coefficient here is 9. The sum is add. Is that 15? Yep, this is true. Has two factors. Okay, so the first factor is this one. So 2x is the factor. And the second factor is x minus 5. Okay, so that is also true. Okay. Here has a degree of 2. Look at the highest exponent. That is true. Has a degree of 2. Let's look at the highest exponent. No, the highest exponent is a 3, so that is false. Has a coefficient sum of 5. So let's look at the coefficient. The coefficients here are negative 2, negative 3, and 8. So let's add those together because it's coefficient of sum. Negative 2 plus negative 3 plus 8. What does that become? This becomes negative 5 plus 8. That becomes 3. So 5, 3. Nope, this is false. Okay. Okay. This has. Okay, give me a second. Okay. All right. So I made a mistake here. So there was a mistake here. There's a mistake here. This does not have two factors. These have 3. Let me explain. Okay. So this is one factor. But here, these are two separate factors. There's a 2 and there's an x. So here, This is wrong. There should be 3 factors. So this is false. There are 3 factors here. 2 is one of the factors, x is in other factor, and x minus 5 is in other factor. So this is a factor, this is also a factor, and this is also a factor. Okay? So, and yep, everything else is good here. Let's look at this. Does this have 3 factors? So let's take a look. Okay? So, this is the first factor. So this is one factor here. The 4 is in other factor, and the y squared is in other factor. Okay, so that's one factor. The y squared is in other factor, and the y minus 6 is in other factor. So this is true. Okay. What about this? Has 2 factors. So 8 is one of the factors. Y is in other factor, and 3y plus 4 is another factor. So this is false. Okay. Here it says has a coefficient sum of 15. The coefficient here is 7, and the coefficient here is 8. So you add them together. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It does equal to 15. So it does equal to 15. So that is true. Okay. Here it says it only has one term. Here's the first term. Here's the second term. This is false. This has 2 terms. First term, second term. Here it says it has a degree of 3. Look at the highest exponent. So this is false. Okay. Here it says it has 3 terms. So 1, 2, 3. That is true. Here it says it has 3 factors. This is a trick question. This is a trick question. It is really a trick question. Hold on. No. So here, this is, okay. So here you have 7 as a factor. Out here. Then you have a as a factor. Then you have b squared plus 3b minus 7 as an other factor. So this is true. Here it says it has a coefficient sum of 1.9. Negative 8 plus 2 plus 5. So this is not a coefficient. So it's negative 8 plus 2 plus 5. What does that get you? Again, the negative 6 is not considered a coefficient. So negative 8 plus 2 plus 5 gets you negative 1. So this is false. Here it says it has a degree of 5. No. No, ha 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 ha. You can't. This is a trick question because 7 times a cubed times b cubed, you can actually multiply these together. So a squared times b cubed can be equal to, what's a times b? ab. And this can be to the, no, hold on. No, you cannot. Hold on, can you multiply them? No, because they're already separate. No, yeah, you can't multiply them. You can't multiply them. Okay, I was gonna do this. AB to the 5th power. But this is wrong. If you distribute this, becomes that. Yeah, so you can't do this. This is bad. So this is bad. So you just look at the highest degree. So as this has a degree of 5, so this is false. Okay, so there you go. There's a lot of just concepts to worry about, and this goes back at your definition. Okay, you just gotta look back at your notes. Which expression is equivalent? Again, you have to compare them in standard form. There's no way about it. Okay. Alright, let's do this. Okay. So we have x. Sorry, let's do it down here. So I have x minus 3, x plus 1 distribute, you get x squared distribute, you get plus 1x distribute, negative 3x distribute, get you negative 3. Okay, these 1x plus 3x, okay, 1x plus 3x gets you negative 2x minus 3. Okay, so you want to make sure that it equals to this. You want one of these expressions to be equivalent to this. Alright, let's start from the top. I'm going to make this red. So the A one is going to be x plus 1 squared plus 4. Expand this out. X plus 1, x plus 1 plus 4. Okay, distribute x squared plus 1x plus 1x plus 1 times 1 is 1. Bring down the plus 4. X squared, 1x plus 1x gets you 2x. 1 plus 4 gets you 5. Is that the same? Nope. Let's try the second one, which is in blue. Write the expression x plus 1 squared minus 4. Expand this out in expanded form. Alright, now distribute x squared plus 1x plus 1x. 1 times 1 gets you 1 minus 4. X squared, 1x plus 1x gets you 2x. 1 minus 4 gets you minus 3. Oh, no, it doesn't work because this is a minus. Hold on. Nope, so this doesn't work because this is a minus 2x. Is that right? Minus 2x. Yeah, so B doesn't work. Let's try that again. Green, let's do this one. C. So x minus 1 squared plus 4. X minus 1 times x minus 1 plus 4. So distribute x squared, distribute negative 1x, distribute negative 1x, distribute plus 1 plus 4. X squared, negative 1x minus negative 1x gets you negative 2x. 1 plus 4 gets you 5. That's not quite. It has to be the last one then. We'll make that auburn or brown, okay? So that is the letter D. X minus 1 squared minus 4. Put it in the expanded form. Okay, minus 4. Expanded form is just running it out. So x minus 1 times x minus 1. Distribute. X times x gets you x squared. X times negative 1, negative x. Okay, so negative 1x. Here, distribute negative 1x. Negative 1 times negative 1 gets you positive 1. Minus 4, bring it down. Negative 1x minus negative 1x gets you negative 2x. 1 minus 4 gets you negative 3. Yep, that works. So it is D. They're equivalent. This is equivalent to this. Okay, again, there's no way about it. There's a shortcut, but you're going to learn that in a month and a half, and I'm not going to show it you now. Okay, because technically this is called vertex form. Alright, that's last one. Okay, which equivalent is equivalent. Notice these are all standard form. These are already all in standard form. So all you have to do is put this into standard form. So x minus 8 times x plus 8. Okay, distribute, get you x squared. Distribute, get you 8x. Distribute, get you negative 8x. Distribute, get you negative 64. 8x, 8x. 8x minus 8x. Okay, this becomes 0x. Bring this down, negative 64. So it's just x squared minus 64. So the answer is D. Okay. Side note, if you want to remember, x minus a times x plus a, right? Where it's multiplying the same thing, but it's opposite. Okay, x times x is x squared. X times a is ax. Negative ax plus ax, negative a plus a becomes what? A squared. These two will always cancel out. It will always be the format of x squared plus a squared. Okay, this is true. So if you have something like this, like x minus 5 plus x plus 5, it follows this format. So this becomes x squared plus 25. Wait, hold on. Is that right? Oh, sorry. This should be a minus. So this should be a minus. So this should be a minus. Or you could also, what about like x minus 6, x plus 6. This x squared minus 36. Okay? So this is just extra if you want to remember it.